start with the session number 5, who is market segmentation, or identify market segments and targets. As we said yesterday, the reason I changed this is because of the marketing plan. By the way, after this presentation, is the turn, is your turn to be here. So raise the hand, please, the people who made the marketing plan. We're gonna see about this. Which of you made the plan and do the presentation? After that, we're gonna have the let's see the time. We have the break time, or I'm start with the session number 6, creating brand value, and after that we discuss the case study, Arabic perfumes. After that, my plan is having a moment to play with the gamification tool I prepared for you. Do you bring on your computer? Yes. May you raise the hands, which of you bring computers? Okay, I think we have more than enough. Okay, I'm fine. And after that, we're going to have the prayer time. And after the prayer time of 1840, we're going to have the explanation about the exam. The persons who have questions about the exam, which are the questions so far, so forth. I have some explanation made by Dr. Janus. He's not going to be here this afternoon. And I'm going to explain to you which is the exam are based on. Okay? So let's start. Identify markets and targets, segments and targets. In this chapter, or in this session, we're going to see what are the different levels of market segmentation. How can a company divide a market into segments? What are the requirements for effective segmentation? And how should business market be segmented? And finally, how should a company choose the most attractive market targets or target markets? Okay? The effective marketing targeting or targeting market requires to identify a profile of distinct groups of buyers who differ on their needs and preferences. Remember, everybody has needs. Marketing tries to develop that needs in some wants, and that wants is based on the brand and preferences. So select one or more market segments to enter, and establish and communicate the distinctive benefits of marketing offering. This is some of the things we talked yesterday and discussed during the classes. Okay? So, a market segment consists a group of customers who share similar needs and wants. Many of you came to me yesterday during the break times or after the classes to ask me which are the best way to approach to the customers. And you know which is the process. As well as I said yesterday during the class and to those students, what do you have to think is which is the product you want to sell to the customers, but not because of your product, because of the customer wants or needs. After that, you have to decide which is the segmentation of the market, demographic, psychographic. We're going to see something about this today. After that, you have to decide which is the customer behavior, when they buy, how they buy, which are the quantities they buy, if they buy seasonally or they buy during different times during the day, gender, so far, so forth. And after that, you have to think the brand value, which is your value proposition, the strategical planning or strategical plan, and after that, the marketing plan. And marketing plan has two phases, has to develop and has to implement. And after that, you have to review if your plan works or not. Okay, this is mostly the map, how you have to do more or less to set a product into the market, okay? So, this segmenting consumer market is based on geographic, which part of the world you want to sell your product, demographic, how many people are the target for your product, psychographic, the psychological behavior of the people when they have to buy, and behavioral, that depends more on personal issues. Okay? Geographic segmentation divides into geographic units such as nations, states, region, countries, cities, or neighborhoods. And there are some Nielsen's Clarita Prism is a potential rating index by zip markets. What this consultancy did is a very interesting commercial tool for the products. They made that in the United States. They divide the country in zip codes, and they divide the zip codes more or less in 500,000 neighborhoods. Those neighborhoods, they divided in 29 different factors of buying process. And those 29 different buying process, or factors to buying process, are congregate or are packaged in those 5 different situations: education and affluence, family's life cycle, urbanization, race and ethnicity, and mobility. They discovered that the people who has more, imagine people retire, they almost use the same brand cars or the same quality of cars. They have the same behave when they buy clothes. They used to go to the same sports events, so far, so forth. So in that sense, it's more easy for the companies when they have that database from zip codes of the country, where do you have to go with your product in different geographic areas, okay? There is another, the demographic segmentation. The demographic segmentation, you divide by age and life cycle, life stage, gender, income, generation, social class, and race and culture, okay? And age and life cycle stage is very important. As I said yesterday, the word changed so much in the last 10 years, but even more in 30 years. My father always say, Victor, in the last 15 or 20 years, the word is changing. He's 80. The word is changing more than my whole life. So the changes today are more faster and more shorter. And the life stage of the persons change the way the people purchase the products. Like, for example, if you have divorce, coming into second marriage, take care of an old parent, deciding to cohabit with another person, buy a new home, so far, so forth. Okay? This is gender and income. As I said yesterday, men are more, this is a study, this is not what I'm saying. This is a study that men try to look information to set their goals, to set our goals. Ladies prefer to take, information from around and more information from, the whole ecosystem. As I said yesterday, if you go to the store, men doesn't like too much if the salespeople come to us to buy something, but ladies want, the people approach to them and see, the whole picture and take the final decision. This brand, Victoria's Secrets, have an incredible idea. They know that the ladies needs underwear, but they want lingerie. And based on that, they set all the stores based on that idea. And they only sell not underwear, but lingerie. And they have a big success all over the world, based on that idea. The generation and influence, of course, change our habits. As I said, if you are young, it's different. When you are older, your habits change. There's a very nice Mercedes TV commercial 20 years ago. Starts with, the Jensen Button story, the film. The kid born old and died young. Died as a baby. I don't know if you saw the movie. Benjamin Button, sorry, I made a mistake. The Benjamin Button. The Mercedes made something like this. They start to say, imagine you with 20 years old having a Mercedes, because usually people older are the ones who can afford that car. So, but when you are young, when you are 20s, it's the car you want, but you can afford. So in that commercial, they put the opposite way. They say, imagine you are 20 and millionaire and you have a Mercedes. And you getting older and more poor and you have a normal car. But the situation is really nice, and there's something related also with the age. I mean, during our age, we have different approach to the different products in the market. Okay? Of course, race and culture change a lot. There are also some studies that, Afro-Americans have, even if they call Afro, they are more Americans than Afro, but they are black people living in states, and they have a very different preference than African people because of the income, or because of the market, or because of the marketing, or because of the products they can find on the streets. Let me show, again, another McDonald's advertisement. I don't know, I have to change some advertisements, always McDonald's, but this is interesting how they can make the target segmentation of the product and positioning your folder, their folder, sorry.
In order to make their products relevant to a variety of consumers, companies use target marketing. Marketers identify specific segments of the population and position their products to appeal specifically to that segment. At McDonald's, segmenting is central to their marketing strategy. But the burger giant takes a different approach to segmenting than most companies.
Traditional consumer packaged goods companies, such as Frito-Lay, organize their marketing department by brand. And so you will have a brand manager on Doritos or a brand manager on Lay's, etc., etc. At McDonald's, instead of having a brand manager on Big Mac and a brand manager on French fries, what we have are segment managers. And so at McDonald's, you will find a director of young adults, a director of women, moms, a director of African American consumers, a director of Hispanic consumers, etc. So that structure all by itself puts McDonald's in a position to really maximize targeting marketing efforts.
In order to target markets accurately, McDonald's uses segment insights. Insights are information about consumer behavior that are developed through market research.
We're constantly, every day, all week long, collecting information and data about the different segments that each of our marketing people are responsible for understanding. And what we pull from these segments are insights, pieces of information that help us understand how to describe our products in a way that will be most compelling for the particular segment.
Consumer insights focus on the values, needs, and lifestyle of each segment. Using these insights, each segment team creates a positioning profile for every product. Then their creative team uses these profiles to produce ads targeted to relevant segments, as well as to the general population.
In the case of our Southwest chicken salad, we learned from our consumer intelligence that this salad presented such a cool variety of ingredients that the general market would find that compelling. So if you look at our ads that were targeted to the general market, you'll see the emphasis on the variety of fun things in the Southwest chicken salad.
Hi, can I get a Southwest salad with crispy chicken?
And I want that new thing with the grilled chicken and tortilla strips. You know, it has that real creamy dressing. Oh, and I think some lettuce.
On the other hand, if you look at the African American consumer advertising, we learned from marketing intelligence that the African American consumer is less inclined to consider a salad as a substitute for almost any of the sandwiches we have at McDonald's. And so instead, we needed to develop our message in a way that said to this segment, this is a hearty, filling, interesting and exciting salad. If you look at our Hispanic consumer segment, the Southwest chicken salad is full of ingredients that resonate with culture and heritage and are compelling ingredients to a Hispanic segment for a whole different reason. The Asian consumer's requirement includes variety of taste and tasting new and different things. And so what we presented in our advertising that was targeted to Chinese and Korean Americans was the whole notion of this variety of ingredients and a new, exciting taste.
Target marketing has proven to be very successful for McDonald's. By understanding the various consumer segments and positioning their products to appeal to each segment, McDonald's has been able to increase overall sales.
At McDonald's, there are a couple hundred people who work full-time just keeping the information current and keeping the information coming so that we can use insights to make certain our marketing is compelling and that our marketing efforts do in fact result in business building marketing.
I go to your intervention. Two important things. The first one, I don't know any company who made, usually you have the marketing manager or marketing director, marketing manager, product manager, brand manager, so far, so forth. But for specific products, it's one of the fewest company I found that they made their marketing segmentation based on the targets of the people. They are, as she said, we doesn't have a marketing product for French fries or for meat or for nothing. What we have is a marketing product or product manager for a specific segment of the market. This is one thing. Answer to your question, customize their salads in different countries. I don't know which of you have ever been on one McDonald's in Shanghai, for example. None of you? When I used to work in the Northern University, I was coordinator of one master and I prepared a stage for the students. As soon as we arrived to Shanghai, they didn't find any restaurant and we are starving. And they decide to go to McDonald's to eat hamburger. When the surprise is when we get there are not hamburgers in the morning. They have Chinese breakfast. And the Chinese breakfast was noodles, soups or something like that we don't really like. But this is how they customize their product based on the segment and based on the city they are. Based on we talked yesterday, you as a branch, the main reason is try to be the same product in all over the world. For example, Starbucks, as he said. Do you think it's a good idea of McDonald's approach to the market that way? Made special salads for Afro-Americans, Latin Americans based on their own products like corn, so far so forth, for European and for Asiatic people? What do you think? Huh? Why is good a strategy from your...
McDonald's here in South America, they are accommodating the brands according to Saudi culture. They have a lot of brands for Saudi people like shish kebab, like kebab, sandwiches, according directly to Saudi.
I'm agree with you. You know why? Because in that sense, the brand talks to you directly on your guts and your behavior. Of course, they can sell hamburgers in China, and there is very important that market because they are more than 1 billion. But if they conquer such 40% of that market base and customize that product for that segment, is a big hit and big success from the economical point of view. So they reinvent themselves, not to be just a place where you can buy a hamburger and French fries, but also in Shanghai you can eat noodles, in Saudi you can eat kebabs, and in other countries you can eat, in South America you can eat something related with them.
But the main dish is there already.
Huh?
The main dish is there.
Yeah.
Because even in Shanghai, I went there. They have the main chicken sandwich, it's there.
But if you go in the morning, they don't have. They only have up till 11 o'clock. But for the breakfast time, we couldn't find it. We have to eat noodles. They're noodles and things like that that really don't.
In Paris, Shanghai, Malaysia, even in Saudi Arabia, they have the main dish, which let's say mac chicken. It's available, but they add something new.
Okay.
For example, in Riyadh, they add mac Arabic or Arabic mac.
Totally agree with you. Of course, they are not losing their identity based on their products. But they add some other things to try to conquer another segment that probably never go to McDonald's. But if they have kebab and I'm in a hurry and my friends want to eat an hamburger, okay, I'm going with you and the end I make my purchase decision. Okay? You want to say something? But it's interesting because I challenged you to find any company in the world who made the marketing plans or the marketing structure based on segments of the market and not based on their products. Interesting. Yes?
I think this approach, which is a segment approach, has been approached from pharmaceutical companies. A lot of pharmaceutical companies right now, nowadays, they are mainly not concerned about the brand. We don't have a brand manager. We have now a segment manager. For example, according to the disease area, for asthma brand manager, asthma manager, COPD manager, they changed the concept of being brand focused into a disease area or a segment focus. This approach has been approached from a lot of pharmaceutical companies, Roche, Novartis, GSK.
I didn't find, but my experience as a marketing agency, 3 years with the pharmaceutical sector, I used to work with Almirall, Novartis, Pfizer, Lundberg, Sanofi, Hartman, Viñas Laboratory, and none of them told me that they are always the same structure. We have a marketing manager, brand group manager, brand manager, product manager, so far so about each other.
I'd like just to add a comment for on the previous comment of my colleague. Maybe the situation in the pharmaceutical companies is a little bit different because the pharmaceutical companies is not easy to modify a product or to invent a product.
Yeah.
Okay. Rather than the restaurants like McDonald's or something like this, where they can invent a product within a week just to identify the culture here and identify the taste here. They can give you what you want in an easy way. While in the pharmaceutical, it's a lot.
Yeah, because I'm biologist, I understand a little bit how the pharmaceutical companies and the molecules works. If you have a molecule developed by Novartis for asthma, I mean, the molecule is the only one, and you cannot change that molecule because it's patent to all over the world. So if they go with a marketing manager segment, probably is because they want to adapt the messages of that molecule and an asthma to a specific situation or a specific geographic area. Sorry, and the last.
Let me give you the experience of a real experience in GSK. I'm from GSK. GSK, we have a Seretide brand. Seretide is like Advair. It's a brand for asthma and COPD. We have a designated brand manager for asthma brand manager or asthma manager, and we have a designated manager for COPD. So you have a lot of brands which are different indication. Based on the indication or based on the patient segment, you are simply targeting those patients. So I have a different, this is a new experience, actually this is a new experience. They have implemented in GSK from like one year and a half.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This is a new experience and a lot of companies are approaching this way.
I'm not saying that does not exist. Probably they start to think about this. From my point of view, it's very important because when I'm going to Kazakhstan, the people are so different as you, are so different than Spanish people, and so different than Latin American people. When I came here, the same thing, so far, so forth. So we have some things that made us our identity, and we are kind of different from the others. And that kind of things are very well studied by the marketing people to try to see how they hit better in different cultures where their products fulfill your needs. Okay? I'm not saying it doesn't exist. For sure, they start to think about this because it makes sense at the end of the day. But for me, from a pharmaceutical point of view, again, if you have a molecule that you have patent, probably what you have to do is adapt that message to the specific market. Okay? Okay. So, the psychographic segmentation and the VALS framework. This is another segmentation made by a consultancy company, and they what they do is they classify the system and psychographic measures in strategic business insights. So they made that chart or that table to identify the kind of people we are. You have the innovators and you have the survivors. Innovators are the people who are always looking new things. They are excited to find new things, to buy new things, or to taste new things. And the other side, you have the survivors. Survivors are more the laggards, people who, after everybody buys the same product and works and results well and is price affordable, then I will buy. Okay? This is not bad, no doubt of the sides, but we identify it somehow in one side or another. So the innovators or the survivors have 6 different kinds of primary innovation. You have people who has the primary innovation is the ideals, another one the achievements, and another one the self-expression. So the thinkers and ideas, the thinkers are the people who always buy things based on the value they receive for the things they buy. Okay? The believers are the ones who always buy national brands and more or less always the same brand. They are very loyalty to them. The achievements, the people who are the primary motivation is the achievement. You have the achievers. Their goal is being success in family and works. So when the decision of purchase from that kind of people are the people who buy things to show to the other one my success. The strivers are the people who only buy things that they only need for one purpose, and that's it. They are not much interested for the goal, so far, so forth. Then you have the self-expression. You have the experiences and the makers. Experiences are usually young people. People who are looking for fashion or looking for socializing, so far, so forth. And they are very innovators. They usually buy those kind of things who makes them more happy. And then you have the makers. Makers are the people who only buy the things if they strictly need them. And they compare the value and the quality based on what the specific needs they have. Okay? This is just a kind of a segmentation, psychographic segmentation made by another company, consultancy company, very well known about on the world. So this is an example of what the Americans did by their association of wines. They divide the people in six different segments. They have the people who are always choose the same brand, people who want to save money, so they want to choose the cheapest one, people who try to buy always the new one, people who are overwhelmed. In fact, I've been in my MBA, I did on stage there and some winery or some farm. They have more than 5,000 brands of wine. So when you go to the supermarket, I'm one of the overwhelmed because you don't know exactly which is the one and which one you have to buy. And at the end of the day, you pick the first one. Take that example for oil or for laundry or for other things you can buy in the market. Okay? So let's take that as an example. Imagine your wife wants to buy a treadmill. You know, the running thing to make exercise? If they say, I want you to buy me that treadmill for my birthday. This person is the initiator. This is the one who wants things and gives you the responsibility to look for one nice, good for me. So then you have the influencer. Because you don't know anything about the treadmill, what is the first thing you do? You look on internet or ask to a friend, hey, you have a treadmill? Yes, I have one. Which one you have? Well, I have fitness, whatever. Okay, let me see if fitness is okay. So they go to the store and they start to make their decisions. Of course, he is the one who was the buyer, but the final user is not him, is not his friend. Again, it's his wife, the one who started all the process. Okay? You have some kinds of behavioral variables. You have the occasions when you buy, benefits of the product, user status. Remember the previous one in this slide? The status are the achievers. I buy the things who give me to show to everyone that I take my goals in family or in my professional life. User rate, how many times you use the product. We saw that yesterday. Buyer readiness, loyalty status, and then the attitude. There's more personal things. I bring that slide because it's very interesting to know that usually 10% of the customer in the companies are losing every year. It's cost 5 times more to find new customer than retain the old ones. If you avoid 5% of defection of the customers, your income can increase from 25 to 65%. And that depends on the industry. If you are commodities, probably 25%. But if you have a blend hub machine, as I said, the portable powder blending factory, probably is 85%. So you have the target. When you have a product, you have a target. You decide which is your product, your brand, your values, which is the demographic segmentation, which is the customer behavior. So at the end, you have, okay, we're going to set in Riyadh, this is the city we choose, this is the market we have, the target market, gender, age, so far, so forth, and this is your target market. And based on that, your brand has been aware for some people. I have heard of the brand. That's it. Then you have opened the trial. I am open to trying the brand, but have not done so. Then you have the trial, not rejectors. I have tried the brand and word I would use again, but have not done so in the last 3 months. Then you have the recent users. I have used the brand in the past 3 months, but I'm not a regular user. Then you have the regular user. I am a regular user, but this is not my most often used brand. Most often used, I use this brand most often, even thought I do use other brands. And then you have the loyal one. I always use this brand as long as it's available. And those people are the ones who make more than 50% of the income of the companies in the world. And these loyal people are the ones who the company wants to looking for. Not only looking for, but they have to treat them well. Give some discounts, special discounts, based on the cards of fidelization, or give some incentives. Try to make these loyal people that you are with them in the whole way. Okay? And this is an example of the brand funnel. You have the example of brand A and example of brand B. If you have the brand B, aware, both of them are more than almost 96, 97%. And some of them, 65 and 76, go to ever tried. Ever tried, you see the numbers are more or less the same. But the big difference between the brand A and the brand B is they ever try 61% and they ever try only 46%. And that percentage make the results like this. And this percentage made the results bigger than the other one. So that brand made their marketing strategy in that specific step better than the other. Okay? The behavioral segmentation breakdown starts with the target market. So you have unaware and aware people. If you have aware, they are not try or they tried. If they not try, they have a negative opinion, they are neutral, or they even have a favorable opinion. Okay? If they try, they are rejecter, I mean I never repeat, or no repeat yet, or I can repeat. If they repeat, they are loyal, they are switcher, or they are loyal brand. We're going to see the switcher and loyal brand in the next slide. And finally, the loyal brand, the light user, regular user, and heavy user. And those people, the heavy user, are probably 20% of the total purchase of your company. Okay? For example, you have in Nike some hardcore loyals, split loyal, shifting, and switchers. The hardcore are the ones who always buy that brand, always wherever it happened. They always choose that brand. The split loyals are the ones who are loyal to 2 or 3 brands. They like the Nike, but probably if they have another brand with good quality and good price, they probably pick it up. Then the shifty loyals, consumers who shift loyalty from one brand to another, probably more than 3 or 4. And then the switchers, based on the promotions or based on the marketing campaign so far so forth, they don't care if they pick one brand or another. Okay? The segmenting for business market, you have demographic, operation variable, this is more related with technology, purchasing approach, how the people are going to your product. They are buying because of web page, because the social media, because of the store, big supermarket where they make their purchase approach. Then the situational factors are they're employed, unemployed, they are wealthy, I mean they have a high wage or not, so far so forth. And then finally the personal characteristics. And personal characteristics, as we see so far, are more innovator or more laggers. So the steps in segmentation process, you need to base the segmentation. People who have similar needs and benefits. Segment identification, then when you have people who have the same needs and similar needs and benefits, then you have to segmentate them by the identification them. Which company, profile, business, etc. Then segment attractiveness, which are the most attractive segments you have after make your segmentation before. The segment profitability, some of them are more profitability than the others based on the segmentation we said. The segment positioning, you have to create the value proposition, the product price and position strategy. The segment asset test. This is a test that you made a storyboard and see which is the reaction of the people. If the reaction is positive, you know that your brand is very well known and probably you have more success in the future. And finally, the market mix strategy, as we said yesterday, in price, promotion, place, and product. The effective segmentation criteria has to be measurable, has to be substantiable, accessible, differentiable, and actionable. Okay? And there are the kinds of the things you may test based on that. If it's measurable, the size, purchasing power, and characteristic of the segments, the tailored marketing program, so far, so forth. Again, the Porter's 5. We're going to see in detail the Porter's 5 in the case in next 2 hours. Okay? But you know, you are familiar with this already, okay? Yes? So, this is the bargaining and this is the explanation. Keep that slide for the case study, okay? Because we're going to go deeply on it. Finally, the possible level of segmentations. This is market, you full market coverage or customization in the individual market segments. So you have to divide them in different steps. And then you make your marketing approach based on the cross-media channel that we saw yesterday on the video. Based on that, you decide if you go to the mass media, you go to the social media, you go to the radio, or you go to the iPhone, you know, talking to you. Okay, I think it's time enough. I want to ask you which are the possible answer for the first question. Which of you want to make an intervention? You? Okay. Please listen to your colleague, okay?
Question number 1, what are the risks and benefits of HSBC positioning positioning itself as the world local bank? I think the benefit is when it target the local segment, make it close to their culture. So it's targeting the local segment, make their operation close to their cultures, their, let's say, concerns. Then this is going to support its position in the local markets. So this is a benefit, being close to the targeting segment. The risk, I see there is one risk which is political or ethnical problems. When I support, if let's say there is a problem between Greece and Turkey, and I support campaign in Turkey and campaign in Greece, customers are going to look at this like in a different way.
Okay. I bring this case. I want to hear another intervention from you. I choose this case. This case is from 2010 or 2011, probably 2012. But you know, HSBC has a lot of problems today based on some things not too much ethical. Okay, because he changed a little bit the Euribor in Europe, and he faced a lot of a problem. Huh? Exactly. He first, and then you. Okay, I'm agree with your answer. Okay, it sounds logical. The problem when you are so global as McDonald's is when you want to be to make better approach to your customers. Probably sometimes it's good or not so good as you said. If you find a sponsor that here you don't like, I can imagine, for example, alcohol drinks. If you find a sponsor and you have one bank who try to offer something and the sponsor is some company that is you dislike, probably the effect is the opposite. Okay? And as you said, as a local bank, we have to be very careful on those things. You first and you later, okay? For the first question. It's very important you to listen.
It looks like two sides of a coin, because the risks comes from the closer you are to your local markets, because the expectations will be high. In bad crisis economy worldwide, the nation will still expect a lot from their loyal bank to do, and sometimes it's very hard to cope because they face the same crisis that you do. In a way, the public will not see the risks that the banks do take by offering them these loans in such hot crisis.
Exactly.
The benefits are long-term as well. It's like a payback. When the economy reveals and recovers from its crisis, you are going to be loyal to who supported you during the crisis. So it's a long-term benefits that the bank capture from the public by serving them well, especially when they are sponsoring a lot of cultural events. And I like the investments when they are supporting the youth.
Yeah.
Because one of them will be so loyal to you that it will do the extra mile to serve you well.
Exactly.
And you will earn loyalty even for an employee.
Exactly.
Direct or indirect.
Exactly.
That's the way I evaluate it.
Thank you very much. And yourself, please.
Want to talk about the risk. There is certain issues will be appear. For example, the customization cost, because as international bank, the cost when it's be one message, definitely it will be cheaper than the cost of we customize for each country separately. This is the first one. Second thing, the cost of the fluctuation between the different places. The opportunity is when you become a global, there is certain products you can transfer it to another site. It will be beneficial for you.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. And I think when you customize something in the country and you are a bank, when you do those kind of things, for sure, of course, in a Visa bank, more, you have to think about the ROI of that investment. If you customize something, but that customization gives to you a return on investment in a short period of time, you go ahead. If not, you have to complain a bit. This is one thing. But when you are a global bank, it's very important you have branch everywhere, because your customer today in the globalization moves so fast. So they need to have their support wherever they go. And this is very important also to take into consideration. You the last one, and then go to the second question, please.
Thank you. The most risky thing here, if you couldn't understand exactly how this culture thinking, and you build your strategy only on one thing that you will understand them and provide them what you need, this is very high risk.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, this is one of the biggest risky when you are a global brand. You have to be very sure when you segmentate your market, demographics, psychographics, so far, so forth, you have to understand carefully which are the cultural values of this country. I remember, for example, Mitsubishi. You know, Mitsubishi is a very big brand all over the world. They show a car on the streets. It calls pajero. Pajero is a really bad word in Spain. So people, when saw that car as a 4x4 car, people doesn't buy that car. And they don't understand why. From my point of view, is like, what kind of marketing people they have there? When you launch a product with a name, you have to be very careful that name, what does that name means in that country? So pajero is a really bad word in Spain, and people...
because we call it pajero.
Something like, sexual things, okay?
Especially and depending on one item only, because the bank pulled its worldwide business together under a single global brand. So he didn't give him a chance to try and error. If it will not fly in some region, you lost all.
Exactly. So that's why you have to be very careful to see which are the cultures of the country, to be sure when you launch something, you make your research before. Again, with Mitsubishi, I don't understand. In Venezuela, imagine Venezuela speaks Spanish, also like Spain. But in Venezuela, that word doesn't have any meaning. It's nothing. But in Spain, there's a really bad word, sexual connotation. So the people avoid to buy this car. And they change the name after 6 months. They change the name, of course. Second question. Does HSBC's most recent campaign resonate with its target audience? Why or why not? May I have the microphones, please? That doesn't work?
This one is working. This one is not.
People, it's work? Okay, second question, please. You have your word, the word. Okay. Please.
I believe it resonates very well in the market with the people because I can see the revenues in 2009 it reached around $142 billion. That means this HSBC marketing, the money they spent on marketing, $600 million, it hits with the people.
You agree?
No.
You don't agree. Okay. Why?
Because
Open it.
because their campaign based on one World Bank, and this for me, I don't care. What I want from the bank is my benefits, what I can gain. So
Okay.
they're resonating with me when they say they are one global bank. What's the advantage if I have one global bank? I
Okay.
would like to have more interest, more services, more things.
Okay.
Not having global.
He doesn't care about the global bank. Probably you are not target. Because what he wants is more interest and more benefits for him. It's okay. Everybody wants. But what happens if you are a person who usually travel to 6 different countries every 3 months? And, huh?
There is
No, but no, imagine not personal. You have a credit card, of course everybody has. But imagine you make business, and you need that business having support by a bank out there. You sell a factory in a 40-foot container, and that product costs $1 million. And you need a credit line. And that credit line you need immediately because that lead is hot. And you have to be supported by a bank. If your bank is there, probably you can close the deal in that time.
But that's the kind of services that they should market. Not that they are global, that they provide such services.
Yeah, but
the bank that gives me a better line of credit to do my business is better for me as a company than a one that's called global.
My bank is La Caixa. It's a branch brand in Catalonia. It's a very, very strong bank. He has only one problem. He doesn't have an international presence. So sometimes when I'm going abroad, I have my credit card. Of course, as a customer, there is no problem. But if I think like as a company, I'm a little bit, if I made a transaction with some other country related with business, probably I need support from other. Of course, they have agreements with Chase Manhattan Bank in States or some bank here, but they don't have their own branch. And if I have to sell the 1 million product, probably I have to call Barcelona, hey, what you can do? They have to call the local branch to see how we can, and you know how the leads are. If you have to take a decision and you have in your table two offers, I prefer you see my offer first and more as smoothly as I can. If I put some walls on my offer, probably you choose the other one and I lose the client.
Actually, I believe this marketing campaign may be good, but not that far. I believe customization of this marketing plan will be more beneficial. For example, we have here in the Middle East Lay's and McDonald's and other brands make customization for the corporate strategy marketing plan to be customized locally. If I can, for example, in these pictures, if I can take local scenes or something related to the culture, I believe it will be more beneficial.
Yeah, of course they're looking always for the big accounts as normal. If I have a company, I usually try to see the biggest accounts, and the small accounts I do my best. But my eyes are on the big one. That's why they make that international world branch to try to match with the big corporations all over the world and make better business on that. If by additional you have a personal customers, it's okay. You are very welcome. By my objective is big corporations. Okay? Thank you very much for your interventions. Now we have time for the presentation, the marketing plan. Which of you made the presentation for today? Raise the hand, please. 1, 2, 3. It's okay. Only 3? Raise the hands, the people who has presentations, please. 1, 2, 3. Anyone? And no more? I wasn't success with that homework, huh? Huh? Okay, please, people, come. You want to start first, my friend?
It's like a gambling application or a gambling online gambling program they opened in Great Britain long ago, around in 1970s, and now they grown to reach Australia. It has a huge revenues, around 10 billion pound in 2015, with 3,000 employees. They are based on just for sports and games like horsing, tennis, and basketball, football, and these stuff. They bet on it, and they start their bets. We're gonna watch this advertisement. Just it's around 30 seconds. Samuel Jackson is the interviewer for that one.
Hello. I'd like to tell you about Bet365.com, the world's biggest online sports betting company. The reason why they're the world's #1 is very simple. They do great odds on a massive choice of sports. And guess what? Bet365.com is now based in Australia.
Just a small ad about that one, but it hit very well in Australia because Samuel Jackson, as you know, is a very well-known artist in the state. This bit, as we can say from the advertisement, anyone can tell me how strong this advertisement is about Bet365? Did you understand the purpose of this application or online gambling system? Do anyone?
Which of you know 365? Which you doesn't know? Okay, so you have a very good audience to explain.
Yeah. I guess it's your first time. Maybe you don't watch football games or on the internet or the global channels. They have most of their advertisement about Bet365. There is many competitors for this one, but they don't have the same application, the same way of introducing themselves through the games and sports. Their strength is they are using the system of betting idea, online betting idea. You're downloading the application from wherever you are watching the game. You just gamble in Great Britain or United Kingdom and Australia. The games of we can say the football games or soccer, the champions. When you watch the game, you should pay on it as in Great Britain. So you need like a global banks, the same as HSBC. When you are here or in Britain, you need to gamble through these banks. This is like a strength and weaknesses for such an application or online gambling. The opportunities, as I told you, they have their online system, and they are opening as a new branch in Australia. They will start the games in Australia for soccer, also for horsing, and tennis games. Everything that will happen in Australia, all the new sport events, they will start working on it. I choose this advertisement because I guess there is not, maybe 1% of you will know the 365. So I will tell you more about it. I know it's like something from the threats or the weaknesses of it. It's not well known for Arabs, as betting is forbidden for us, Arabs and Muslims. That as a threat or as a weakness for that one, it will never ever happen here in the Middle East. Their threats, there's many competitors for them, and most of the peoples in Europe or United Kingdom, they can bet through in the bars, in the casinos. There is a small betting or gambling groups. They started gathering the bets, the people bets, and then they will take it. That's the way they approach the people. And that's all about the 365. I guess the idea reached to you, and you know well about it. Read about them. They have a nice profile. Thank you.
Yeah, probably it's forbidden here, but in the countries I'm living, it's very normal to do this. And in England, it sounds to be like more normal than in Spain. Spain is one of the countries who gambling more, play numbers. Where the crisis is bigger, people play more that gamblings because they thought this is the solution for my life. And this is an interesting story, and I think it's 365 who was involved with. In England, I don't know if you follow the soccer, the premium soccer. Leicester was won the Premier this year. Do you follow soccer?
Yes, of course.
So for the first time in his history, and there are one person who he bet £40 and he won £200,000 or something like that.
He won around £800,000.
£800,000 and he bet only 40 because he say, because at the beginning he say Leicester will win the Premier and nobody believes, and the way you put £1, and if the Leicester win, they give you in return £100 or something like that. Those are the stories we know, but there are many stories that we doesn't know who is the people who lose the money. So that's why they are so powerful and they have a lot of competence.
I got a personal question. Yeah. What made you decide to choose this one?
I may decide to choose this one because it's like prohibited, as I told you, in our Middle East, first of all. Second of all, I know, as I told you, 1% of you will not know this, the idea of betting 365. I'm telling you, this project has made many people like millionaires within months. And it made many people went to the ground or under the line what they went through betting. This is just an opportunity for the people, and it was like a losses to many people.
My friend.
Yes.
Do you know that 40% of the worldwide gamblers are Middle Easterns?
No, I'll never.
Thank you.
From my side.
Okay, no more questions, people? No? Okay, please, second presentation.
First moment, I finished the whole commercial. I still memorize this commercial till now. I saw it maybe since a year and a half, and I think I will remember it forever. It affects me deeply, and I want you to share this moment. You can see how it will. Of course, your reaction we will discuss. But after that, after the commercial, I will tell you why I choose this commercial, because yesterday I saw another video on TEDx, which is very effective and can show how companies are depending now on scientific resources to do marketing, while it is basically something regarding the behavior of the customer, something psychological they are using. Let's start. I don't want to make it too long. I will first retrieve it. It is from Samsung Turkey, actually. Thank you, Samsung. Really, they did something. I think no company will think of it for many years. They made something that takes the group of thief away from their isolation. They put them back to the society again. And of course, any thief person saw this commercial at any day, they will remember Samsung forever. And any person who interested in helping thief and take them into the society, helping them, of course, will remember it also for a very long time, if not forever. And I think Samsung with this video or these efforts they did, they linked their name to something emotional that you will never forget. And at any point of time when you deal with a situation like this, to help people, to help others, maybe not only thief, to help any person, you will remember what Samsung did, and you can use their ideas or something to do the same. So Samsung, you will never forget the name because of that. Emotionally, they use this to link the name to something good they did.
To engage the customers.
Yes, to engage the customers.
Okay. Do you made some SWOT in your presentation?
Actually, I went back to the Samsung website to collect some information about Samsung, but I didn't have enough time, in fact, to finish that yesterday because of.
Okay. What do you think about the advertisement? Okay. Again, the same person. Yeah.
No, I don't have questions about him. I do agree with him. It's very emotional. It is one of those things that you cannot easily forget about. There are big layers of the society that are always abandoned, and the way that Samsung touched them in this way makes people think. And it's one of the advertisements that you will never look away from it. You want to finish it all to see how it's going to end. And the message is very powerful, without stating much. But I can help him with the SWOT about Samsung.
With the SWOT doesn't have to be only related to the brand. Can be related to the brand, but the base of the advertisement you show, you can talk about SWOT based on the advertisement itself. If the advertising only talks about the product, you can talk only the SWOT about the product, the weakness, the strengths, the opportunities, so far, so forth. Okay, so you don't. Really, you don't have to look, for SWOT only for the brand or the company.
Can we talk about the SWOT for the ad only itself?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
One of the very attractive points from my point of view in this video, that the builder for this video already focused on the showing value before saying anything about the brand itself. Which in my point of view foster the belief in the brand itself and the value provided by the brand. So they didn't mention anything about the brand until the end of the video. All the video focusing only on the value. At the end they start to show the logo and the brand itself.
If you remember the brand, remember the slide of PepsiCo. PepsiCo is just cola. And they just think how we can go further with our brand. If you think about how you market the product, Samsung do electronics. But if you think about marketing, Samsung improve your life somehow. I mean, just invent it. But they build things to make your life easier based on their products, and then they remember with some stories and some phases in your life that everybody has, more or less the same, and then at the end you have the brand. Sorry.
Yeah, it's only about the strengths of Samsung when it comes to use the scientific resources in its products or its advertisements. In this case, I saw they planned very well to the ad, and they had a good scenario before they start. They focus on a specific case, and they plan for the reactions even. Each step was studied very well, and they didn't tell about themselves till the end of the ad. So they give us a chance to entertain, to understand the idea, to give attention to the original issue they want to grab our attention to. So they was very successful in this ad. I cannot see a weakness. Maybe someone more specialized can see that. But I think they use an opportunity in Turkey. This ad made in Turkey and made by Samsung Turkey itself, and they saw something maybe in the society, opportunity to use whatever the tools available, maybe laws, something new they are preparing politically in Turkey to help this kind of groups, and they go with it. So it's an opportunity. In fact, they maybe use it. That's it.
Okay. No, again, the brands usually made in the last 5 years, they try to engage the people emotionally. And everybody has emotion. That's why you connect with somehow with many of them based on the way they show their products or the way they show their value proposal. As Mr. Cutler said yesterday in the video, now they start to talking about the spiritualism. I wait for that. How? Because everybody here has somehow spiritualism and doesn't have any connection with religion. It's something bigger than us, something that when we leave this world, what we left behind, and why we are here. Those kind of questions are the marketing now are looking for, because it connects with us somehow. Okay? Questions? No? Next presentation, please.
In this room, how many people has daughters, little girls? How many? MashaAllah, good number. So for the people who has daughters, they're going to enjoy it. Just look at the video. And before I start the presentation, think about the value, the message of this ad, and what is the targeted segment for this ad.
Hello, my name is Gwyneth, and I'll be your professor today. And I will be talking about the brain.
Hi.
Hello, I'm your veterinarian today.
You're kidding.
Nope, I'm Dr. Brooklyn. See?
Okay, doctor.
Oh, here, let me see. Good morning, everyone. I'm your new coach. My name is Maddie. Nice to meet you.
I had the most fantastic day in the office. You'll never believe what happened. We got that new business I wanted.
Have you ever seen him fly?
Have you seen him what?
Fly?
No.
My cat can fly.
Okay.
The dog's brain can't think as much as the human's brain because there's no high school for the dog. This is Peter, the Triceratops. Peter is 1 year old. The T-Rex, Sally, is 1,002,252 years old. Knees up like a unicorn. Higher, higher.
I've been to New York, Transylvania, Pennsylvania.
We can think and do lots of stuff with our brain. Now, does anybody know how big the brain is? Anybody? Sophia. It is medium. Medium? Very good.
Lovely. Is that for me or for Barbie? So, thank you very much. So, just imagine what Barbie can do. Now, back to the ad. What do you think the values, the message that Barbie want to deliver? Okay. Yeah. So, from my point of view, we can discuss it later, but Barbie allow your little girl to have fun. So the main message or the main value of Barbie to have fun for our little girls. That's number one. Number two, it helps to discover the capabilities and dreams for your girl. Your little girl can be a doctor, can be a coach, can be anything or in the future. So this helps her to discover her capabilities. And it took Barbie to life. You know, now it's not only she's playing in her bedroom with Barbie, but she's now living the whole world. Then with Barbie, your little girl will gain confidence. She can teach. She's teaching a huge auditorium. She's coaching a team, a football team, and else. And it gives her an impressive future. And even you guys, an adult, you're gonna enjoy it. So it's not only for little girls, not only for your daughter, even for the family, you're gonna enjoy it. So these are the values or the messages that they want to deliver for the customers. How about the targeted segment? I think that they successfully approached the targeted segment by talking to both you guys as parents and for the kids or for the daughter. Doesn't talk about the physical features. So the color, the accessories, it comes with a small kitchen, it comes with this and that. So it goes to a bigger message more than going to a small detail. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I don't understand this image. I found it's not apparent completely about Barbie. It may be for toys store, not for specific ones. Because Barbie can't be used as physicians or coach or something like this, accessories or dress. Make it market segment for specific, for girls only, not for boys. For specific girls also, which is need to have some care about accessories or dresses or makeup or something like this. Just.
I'm sorry, I did not understand the question. So if you can rephrase it. I didn't get the point.
I think that advertise may be more suitable for toys shops, not for a specific toy. You can make it for Toys R Us, you can here ألعاب الحسين, okay, or Hussein toys, not for a specific toy.
But my colleague, they want to go more than a toy. So Barbie is a life, is a dream for a little girl. So it's more than like a piece of toy that you're gonna buy it today and she's gonna break it tomorrow. I have two little monsters. I don't have girls. So it's more than a toy.
But surprise you. Because if you didn't show that it's Barbie, probably you thought that it's Toys R Us or whatever. So probably this is one of the reasons when you make a campaign like this, you always try to play a little bit with your customer. Remember the commercial yesterday with Mercedes and the kid? Nobody expects at the end is a Mercedes brand commercial, isn't it? But then you realize they show something. That brand is interesting because I remember when I was a kid, my sister played with that toys, the Barbie one, and she was sick to have one. And I saw a little bit the development because they are one of my customers when I used to work in the travel agency. Mattel is the owner of that brand. And I see, the evolution. And of course, they are involved in some scandals, let's say, because the people say, hey, why Barbies are perfect, ladies? People are not so perfect as Barbies. So they start to create Barbies with different colors, with different size, so far, so forth, to try to customize their product to the people. And this is interesting because at the end, they evolution. Of course, they evolution also in the product. I remember when my sister has the Barbies, and now my little girl has one Barbie of them. My mother-in-law gave last week, and I compare, and I remember when I was a kid, the difference in the product. They innovate that. So it's interesting as a brand from my point of view, and what they try to do or give through this commercial is hopes to the girls. You can be whatever you want when you play this. We have one question before.
Actually, it's not a question rather than a comment. I believe this advertise is amazing advertise. Why? Because if even the advertising agent didn't put Barbie on the advertise, you can see it. You know, if me and my little girl sitting beside me and have seen this advertised, I believe this Barbie colors and even the toy, it's amazing. Yeah. Thank you.
Again, it's not a question, it's thank you.
No problem.
It's amazing. And my point of view here, it's not selling a toy, it's selling a concept. It's called selling an idea, which will fly for a very long time. And even if you don't mention here, this is a Barbie situational with every situation, like a doctor, like instructor, like whatever. This commercial can be a series of commercials, like to be a campaign. The story here, the most important thing here, that he linked the idea of building the character, like communication, like engagement, like building thoughts, how the baby can think, and how can you raise the baby. So it's a dual message for the baby and for the daddies. You can build the character of your baby if you let him, or let her, I'm sorry, playing with Bobby to be a doctor, sit with her and truly be a patient, and she the doctor, and try to make a communication and engagement. This is a dream to raise our babies like this. Thank you again, it's amazing.
Thank you very much.
In fact, if you use that commercial in 10 years, it's still actual. So they made an atemporal commercial for that specific product and brand, because ideas never die, and those ideas are always in the girls' dreams. Okay.
As has been said before, thanks for this very nice advertisement.
Thank you.
I have to confirm on two issues. The first is that we have a direct customer here, which are the girls, the daughters, and secondary customers or supporting customers, which are the parents. Clear, they are studied very well, their primary customers, the daughters, and understood why daughters insist to buy one Barbie, second Barbie, third Barbie, fourth Barbie, and start to face a problem with the parents is that they always choose another thing, buy another toy, you have already Barbie at your home. And they made a clear relation between how Barbie can reflect positively on the expression from the daughters about their life, what they are hoping to be, their dreams, how to practice their dreams, how to express herself. So they support the primary customers to their needs, to satisfy their needs, and convince their parents, which they will pay for this needs by giving them a global dream of their daughters. Yes, we wish our daughter to be a physician, to be a successful, to achieve her goals. So by the end of the story, I think it will be reflected on their sales, their revenue.
Remember the slides of purchasing process, the treadmill that my wife wants? Who is the initiator here? The daughter. But then you find information, you ask to the other parents, my daughter wants to have this or that, and then the final decision was made by her parent, and finally the end user is going to be the daughter again. Okay? You want to have a question? Many questions, there's a presentation. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's not questions, it's a comment. I just need to say it was a great video, okay? Because others' message, it acts on the impact, okay? The message here is tolerated, and the segment was clear. The segment is not a little girl. The segment is the father. They are tolerated the message for us. They are talking about increase the future or increase the imaginations for your doctor, for your daughters. So the message is tolerated well and directly to us in a fine way. So it was a great video by segmentations and toleration the message on directly on the impact.
Very good. Thank you very much. And the last one, you. Even if you want to say something, please.
I have a question for Barbie. What do you think that Barbie can do for the Saudi Arabian girls? Especially it have a direct competitor which is named Folla. So what can you do? What Barbie can do?
What Barbie can do for?
For its direct competition in Saudi Arabia, you have to here toys, one named Barbie and the others it is the national one which is Fulla. So how can Barbie persuade their customer to use Barbie, not Fulla?
So if you ask me, Barbie, Fulla is a copy of Barbie, and they have to do something actually for that, maybe legally. I don't agree of localizing such toys. It's a toy. So even if you cover her hair or you provide some like a dress for a praying dress or something, it's a toy. So maybe the global toy gonna give or gonna leave better image or better reflect on the girls because it's a global. And when we talk about kids, it's a global needs. So religion gonna play, let's say, a good role in their life. I agree, but still they have the same needs, the same, let's say, thoughts. They are kids. They are still kids. They want to play, okay. But for you guys, this is a message, a bigger message than Fulla for sure. But for them, for the kids, it's the same needs. So I think that toy is just copy of. They trying to imitate or copy Fulla. But as you guys said, you are a targeted customer, as well as the daughters, because you're gonna pay. If I wanna buy my kid something, I need to see a value. So I pay him something with 100 riyals. I need to see a value of 100 riyals because at the end of the day, I'm gonna spend something from my pocket.
You touched some important point. Everybody has that kind of wants when we are young, when we are kids. That wants our dreams. In this case, Mattel with Barbie make that dreams a need. Sorry, make that needs a wants, and then make possible through the toy. Okay. Thank you very much again.
No problem. Thank you.
And we have another presentation here.
Okay. My name is Mustafa Hamdi. Actually, I made this marketing plan together with my colleague Hatem. By the way, both of us working in healthcare, so nobody is working in the telecommunication, but we selected actually a very nice ad from STC. Okay, so all of us, of course, knows STC quite well. So STC is a local telecommunication company in Saudi Arabia. They are a company of 9.3 billion Saudi riyal, 2015. They were able to grow by 9% almost compared to 2014 figures. They even they have a growth in the profit. So they have a 7% growth in the profit in 2015 compared to 2014. So first of all, let's go through the marketing plan. So first, to describe the product that STC is providing. They are providing easier and faster, reliable connectivity solutions. They have the widest coverage probably in Saudi Arabia. Cheaper services, suitable packages for different market segments. They have a strong rewarding programs. everybody is using probably STC, or at least knows somebody using STC. They have Niqati, which is a rewarding program, which lead to more benefit to the customers. They have support, they can support more services, more solutions than only telecommunications. So they have wide range even of solutions today that they can provide to their customer other than only the telecommunication. The SWOT analysis, so internal strength for STC, they have the wider coverage, the service varieties that they can provide, and the roaming service. In terms of weakness, they are latecomer in the cloud solutions, which probably most of the countries nowadays is moving to cloud, and they are a little bit of latecomer to the cloud services. In terms of opportunity, of course, for them to introduce the cloud before other competition. And in terms of threats, it's if one of the competitors, of course, beating them by introducing cloud services to the customers before STC. In terms of environmental analysis, so they are operating internationally. Of course, the coverage, they have contracts already with most of the telecom providers in other countries, so they can provide better and good rate roaming services. In terms of social, this is only consideration to take into account. They have special packages for families, friends, and groups. In terms of economy, their prices is affordable by the end user, and also being able to grow profitable. As I told you, that 2015 was more profitable for them than 2014. In terms of regulatory, STC is frequently influencing preventing the internet calls to the end user, so in order to improve their income from the normal calls. Competitive analysis, of course, the other two providers in the market, Mobily and STC, they are offering also a wide range of communication solutions. They are catching up with STC, but they are always in catch-up mode. So they are always trying to catch up with what STC offers. They have the free internet calling application is also another competition to STC. So more and more of these applications available nowadays, like Viber, WhatsApp calls, and Skype, and FaceTime, so on. Customer analysis in terms of demographics. So we have the business users. There is the users working for companies, and there is the personal users available. So they have to customize packages, which is more suitable for business users, which need probably to have larger groups, and also good reasonable price for internet and roaming connection. For personal users, of course, they need to have reasonable price as well, but they need to have more packages for friends and family members. Psychographics, also being local service provider, it's a little bit also psychologically that everybody want to subscribe to STC because probably it's really the national service provider for telecommunication. Strategic planning, so in terms of product, effective communication solution, in terms of price, the 4 Bs, in terms of price, competitive price, in terms of place, national and international, in terms of promotion, personal advertisement, seasonal promotional packages. You know, we all know about Hajj packages, for example, Ramadan packages, people coming for Umrah, and so on. And also having a competitive proposals for promotions for the whole year. And that's it. Thank you very much. So, questions?
Good presentation. Very good presentation. Thank you very much.
Thanks for my colleague Hatem as well. You worked
very good presentation. Congratulations, my friends.
Thanks for your presentation. Actually, I have a question. What is the impact on the customer of promoting and marketing for 2 brands combined in a single ad? For me, I was attracted more to iPhone more than STC. What's your point of view of that?
Yeah, please.
Actually, thank you for the question. It's something that I
came to
really
our mind yesterday.
salute you for spotting it. STC hit two birds with one stone. Launching an idea that we are bringing families close to you wherever you are, and at the same time saying to iPhone that we are promoting you because you are a partner at business. Because the iPhone can be bought from anywhere. But for your information, iPhone company is giving more benefits and more bonuses if you are buying it from the STC as the patriotic local leading market company. So actually it was like hitting two birds with one stone, but they were more concentrating on their solutions, but bringing their partner, business partner into the image to give them more bonus. So they were hitting two birds with one stone.
Actually, you can say that it is using the power of Apple into the game. So, you know, Apple is working with mobile as well. You know, iPhone 6 is, we have also with mobile. But of course, utilizing the Apple popularity within the people by STC, it can be also a marketing strategy by STC.
Questions? Yes.
Microphone, because we are too many.
I will accept the idea only in case of if the advertisement itself shows this kind of relation and a special something I will get if I use iPhone 6 with STC, but the ad didn't show that. For me as a customer, I didn't come to know that there is any benefit of having both together, and the advertisement, yes, maybe take my attention to the phone, but not STC, except that just the name of STC at the end of the ad.
Actually, you will not even realize that it's an STC ad till the end. So actually, this is one of the things that emotional in the last 10 years, as we mentioned, that more and more advertisement, which is built on emotional effect. Then, you know, you track the attention to the twins, who actually one of them traveled outside, and they need to stay in connection all the time with a reasonable way of connecting. Yeah, yeah.
I have a question for you. Which is the value proposal of this company compared with the competition? I mean, why I buy this product is because of the price, because of because it's local, because it's made in my country, because of what? Which is the main reason or the main value proposal of this brand?
Actually, there is more to it for this advertisement in particular, because it's built up on submental messaging, which is a new era of advertising. It is used worldwide in brands like Camel and other like restaurants like Wendy's in America. They give you submental messages to think about it when you go home, more than when you are looking at the ads only and that's it, it stopped. So there are nowadays in advertising, it's an art. They have to give you a submental messages that goes and talks to your subconscious. So by looking at two brands, like STC is a brand on its own, and iPhone now is a brand, you start to think, what's in it for me? And when you think about STC, that's trying to give you and strive more to give you more and more bonuses. With iPhone, you're going to get more if you're using the local more than the competitor like Mobile NZ.
Coming back to the question of Dr. Victor. Yeah.
Do you remember the slide of the innovator and laggers? You know, you have 6 different intentions of purchasing. So probably this brand, I don't know this brand, but probably this brand are not talking with the people who are buying the iPhone. I mean, the one in the corner left, you know, the young people who are enthusiastic and want to be fashion with the new things, or the guys who are looking for goals in family or business to want to buy things that show to everyone. Probably they talking to the laggards, the ones who are believing in their own brands, in their own countries, and the brands that they believe they are is affordable, not only in price, but the quality and service. Okay? You want to say something about the question?
The value proposition, you asked about the value proposition of STC compared to the competition.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's basically about services that they can provide. It's about prices, reasonable price. And STC is the first provider in the country, so they came with a wider coverage. They came with, the local presence. So I believe they have a lot of value proposition to mention against the
So again,
competition.
probably they are not compete with the same market as the iPhone. This is not my war. My war is another target, and they talk to the other target because it's the one I want to hit. As I say to the laggards and so far, so forth.
Thank you for the added. It was great. And there is two variables here, the STC and Apple. That's great. The story is you are touching anyone is traveling will be connected all the time through the people coming from Saudi. So STC can appear here a little bit to who's thinking more in the ad. At the same time, Apple appears more through the phones. So I totally agree with Ahmed. Apple should pay for this because it tells Apple connecting people. If you come next, my advising, if you allow me to advise you, my next to make a connection, give me something, give me a package from STC if I'm traveling outside with the price of Apple if I'm trying to buy it from your outlet shop. This will be an added benefit for the one who's seeing this. If I'm traveling outside and you give me a good package comparing to Mobile, comparing to Go, comparing to whatever, and the price of the Apple itself, maybe less 10%, 5%, give me features, give me less cost of the price, give me something to, what's in it for me, you said before. That's it. So the added thing here after this ad to make a campaign or something, if you buy Apple from me and you are going outside, I'll give you a full package. Price of the machine or and the price of the minutes, the communications online, and so on. And still great.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
More than advertising the iPhone or whatever, because they have deals with other brands as well. But when you're talking to people there as humans, we know, all of us know that the twins are more attached among the families than other people. So, and they gave you like their life journey since they were kids, newly born, until they grow up. And then it came to one of them, just one of them was selected randomly for studying abroad. Plus the fact, yes, I do agree with you, that it's maybe a sector among even the big society of Saudi. But when you think globally out of the box, it could happen everywhere. It could happen everywhere. They're not talking about Saudi people because of the scholarships that they're getting now free from the country and stuff like that. It can happen everywhere, so it's still really valid. But the stronger message was they selected twins to play with your emotions. And actually, I've seen this ad like a week ago, and I couldn't let it go. So the moment that Victor has asked us to talk about something like that, it came to my mind like that. It must be added. Thank you.
Thank you all. I think most of you are having children, and they are always making small fights with each other. But do anyone think that maybe the color is affecting on their mood or something like that? Or I don't know. Now I will show you a small video, sorry. It will show us how the colors are affecting the behavior of the kids, okay?
The paint company Hempel knows that colors can change the way people behave, so they did a small experiment with kids.
Hempel wanted to show that painting a room is not only a matter of taste, but rather that children's behavior is affected by the colors surrounding them. We took a room in a kindergarten, we painted it in acid red, we placed the children in it. We asked them to play the way they wanted. There were no rules. Teachers were asked not to intervene. Children could play alone or together. We wanted to see how children's mood and behavior is affected by the color surrounding them without any adult control. On the second day, everything was exactly the same. The kids, the toys, and the room. Only one thing has changed. This time, we've asked them to play in the same room that we've repainted in light blue. results you can see for yourself.
In the red room, there was a lot more crying and fighting. Kids were running around and making a big mess. But when the room was painted in light blue, they played together nicely and helped each other a lot. So, as you can see, colors did make a real difference.
Okay, here the message is the paints. The colors are more than paints, not just paints, okay? And here the message shows that the colors are affected on the mood for your kids. That's actually I didn't prepare for that presentation, but when I hear that there's a score, I told the doctor I need to present this. It just comes to my
questions.
If
I
you any
have so
question
many.
for
I have
that,
so
no
many
problem, I
questions.
can.
Question because I have so many.
So to me, actually, this is not an ad or commercial for Hempel. This is a commercial for, let's say, scientifics who's working on researches about colors. So they're providing some information about even for the competitors. So now my brother working for Hempel here in Saudi. So now maybe Juten or Al Jazeera or something, other people gonna use the same message and deliver the same message. And also like giving such information about color gonna change the children or kids' behavior.
Yeah.
This is a message that needs to be, let's say, more questioned, because one day in one nursery or classroom is not enough actually to judge that even colors have this power or not. So question from my side, like based on what they decided that the red color is worse than the blue color. How many people were involved in that research? How many country, ethnic people, cultures, blah blah blah. And also, this is an ad not for Hempel. This is an ad for colors itself. So others gonna use the same idea.
Okay, I can answer your question, but because our brand, okay, and Hempel brand, it's a passion for color, okay? So that means that the colors from Hempel paints is different than the other companies. As you know, the marketing is ideas. So that's the message that they want to deliver to the customers, that our colors are different than the other competitors or companies.
Okay, you were in class yesterday?
Sorry?
You were in class yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. We talk about your commercial, and we talk about the references groups. Do you remember the references group? Okay, if you prepare your presentation, you're going to have the answer. Remember the primary references group? Which are the primary references group? Our family, our colleagues in work. Which are the second references groups? The people we see once a week when we pray, or we play tennis, or we go somewhere to drink tea. But then we have another group. So remember the opinion groups. The ones that have, you can choose George Clooney, or you can choose Michelle Pfeiffer or whatever, and talk about your brand. In this case, the researchers are the one to talk to you. And researchers say, hey, listen, we made an experiment, and based on the colors, by the way, our brand made colors, made paints to change the colors, subliminal messages. By the opinion of the researchers, I'm telling you, if you change the color, you have a better results. I have some observations about remember, I'm a biologist, and I have to work very hard to do my thesis with nervous system. And I have to validate, as biologist, not as economy, but as biology, I have to validate everything black and white. And I have so many observations about this research. This research is only made in 2 days. What happened if the day before they came, your kids, when they go into the to the garden, to the baby garden on Monday, they have more energy. But probably they fight too much on Monday, and the day after, on Tuesday, they are so fighting to fight, and not because of the color, it's because they are tired. But they show you, like, research, 2 days, look at this, if they change the color, let's fight, they collaborate more each other. So be careful which tells you the story, why it tells you the story, and which is the reason behind. And when from the researcher point of view, you have to be sure that that research has to be very well supported, and not like, for example, in Spain, the dentist association of dentists recommend Colgate or whatever, and that recommendation doesn't say anything. They pay to the doctor, to that person, who, by the way, is part of the association, to talk about a brand, but in his pocket he has the money, and that brand works perfectly as work the other ones. Okay? Just an observations, okay?
Thanks for this show. I'm not quite sure if it is an advertisement or not, but at least it will not be on TV, maybe on social media. It will be a kind of advertisement. Sure, there is a lot of companies that produce painting with different colors, but here there is a clear that the company didn't pay to show you that we are painting the highest building in the world and the longest whatever, like Jotun are telling us, but they are telling that we are paying to know what is the best for you, what is the best for your kid, what's the best for your life. So we are caring about you. There is kind of social responsibility they are paying for. They are making or sponsoring for researches to know what kind of colors. We have all the colors, but we are keening on you yourself, not about the building. So if you will decide to paint your kids' room, it's better to select this color. If you will, maybe they have more researches has been sponsored to give more advices. So yes, it's very good, very simple, very effective and emotional to some extent advertising.
Observations, if you have any answer, my friend?
Okay, now regarding this advertisement, okay, now for you, for yourself, okay, when you want to paint your children home, okay, and already you have seen this advertisement, directly Hempel paints will go to your mind. So there's something linked between the paints for your home and the brand you will choose for that.
It's true that, besides I said before about that research, it's true that the colors change our way to see the life. That is true. In fact, some marketing people are looking very well which are the colors they use in different brands and why. Remember the example of McDonald's yesterday. They changed red color into the green one. But it's true that if you have a yellow colors or colors like this, you relax more if you have red colors or black colors, so far so forth. Okay, more questions? Thank you very much. One question for the people who are here. Did you read the case study? Yes? Which of you didn't read? Raise the hand, please. Okay. But no, there is no problem. Just raise the hand. The Arabic perfumes. Okay. It's this percent. Okay. Let's go for it. Brand equity, creating brand equity, okay? In this model, what we try to abord is what is a brand and how does those brands work? What is brand equity? How is brand equity built, measured, and managed? And finally, what are the important decisions in developing a branding strategy? Strategic brand management has 4 main processes. The first one is identifying and establishing a brand position. The second one is planning and implementing a brand marketing, measuring and interpreting brand performance, and growing and sustainably brand value. As you may see here, is when you have a consolidate brand, it's more easy to see all those steps. When you doesn't have a brand that is very well knowledge, it's a little bit more difficult to follow that steps, okay? But anyhow, you can build in that way. So a brand is you remember yesterday the small video related with brands, that now we are the owner of the brands. And the most important thing for the brands today is when you use the verbs with the brands. I mean, Google it, connect with the LinkedIn, so far, so forth. So brand is a name, term, sign, symbol, or design, or a combination of them, intended to identify the goods or services of one seller or group of sellers and to differentiate them from those of the competitors. And then you have here too many examples. The roles of the brand is identify the marker, simplify the product handling, organize accounting, and offer legal protection. When you have that kind of brand, the legal protection was more easy. I remember when I was again in China 10 years ago, I was in those markets that the brands are fakes.
Chinese market.
Exactly, the Chinese market. So I've been in one of the markets, and suddenly I saw all the people who are selling, in the stores in that place, running very fast and hiding things. Suddenly I saw the police, and the police are looking for people who has Calvin Klein underwear or products Calvin Klein.
Even Rolex.
But that day is only Calvin Klein, and I was curious, and I was one Chinese friend, and I say, what happened here? And he told me, this is the police that looking for, they have orders from the brands to have to legal protect their brands in this kind of markets. So what the people do, they have a special place where they hide the products. As soon as the police left, because I was there all the time to see what's going on, when the police left, they take out again the products of that brands. You have legal protection, you have more power to protect your brand, but of course you have more opportunities or more threats that the people copy your brand and sell all over the world. The brand, it's a name, can be protected through the registered trademarks, manufacturing processes by patents. I remember the machine we sell in the 40 feet container was patent worldwide. Patent is good because nobody can copy, but this also has a tricky, because if people can see your patent, because it's a public, you can see the patent and you can change slightly your design, and they can sell something very similar than yours, but I'm not copying your patent, and just change some process. So patent is good and is bad at the same time. We have that reflection in our company when I work with many times, do we have to patent the next things we're gonna create or not? Did we not show to everyone this is a very high a secret that we have to hide for us and only show to the prospective customer? This is a question we always do in our hands. And packaging can be protected through copyrights and property designs. So the brands signify quality, usually, create barriers to entry, usually, even if only if they are copied, serve as a competitive advantage, and secure premium price. Okay? Branding is endowing products and services with the power of the brand. And branding creates mental structure, as we saw so far during this yesterday and today, that help customers to organize their knowledge about the product, services, and the way they decision to make in the process and provide value to the firm. Okay? Now brand equity. Brand equity, people are usually ask me, and this is a typical exam question. Brand equity is the added value endowed with the products and services, which may be reflected with the way of the consumers think, feel, and act with the respect of the brand. We already talked about this. Remember when I asked you the question, what Mercedes thing hits in your brain the first thing? McDonald's, so far, so forth. When you have a strong brands, you have some advantages. Yes?
So explained by the brand equity is the perception?
Yeah, brand equity is something behind the brand. Remember the example of PepsiCo yesterday. You have one cola.
This is the brand.
Yeah, this is the brand. But if you have to have like a brand equity, you have to go a little bit farther than this. And when you go farther, makes the people think another ways of you think about the brand. Not only cola, but they do another things. Not only as a car, they offer security, luxury, status so far. It's not only, those things that go beyond the name or the letters of the color of the brand. Okay? So the advantages of the strong brands, you can see greater loyalty, less vulnerability to the crisis, and this is quite true. During the luxury brands, for example, during our crisis in Europe, and probably not here, on that time, you have more crisis now because of the price of the petrol. But when we have crisis there in 2010 and 11, the luxury brands sells 20 and 25% more during that years. And there is a question, why the luxury brand sells more? Because they have to reduce their price a little bit. And because their target, that people who are very wealthy, they see as an opportunity to buy those brands on that time. So they increase the sales, but not the price at the same time, okay? So they have larger margins. They are more an elastic consumer response. I think you know what is elastic and inelastic in economic terms? Yes? No, when something is elastic, you have too many things to choose. When there's something inelastic, you have not too many things to choose. I'm going to give you an example. If you have to buy a medicine to save your life, even if the cost of that medicine is 500 euros a pill, you will buy it because it depends your life on this. But if you have a newspaper and you have 10 different newspapers, almost of them with the same news, you're going to take usually the cheapest one, or the one you think you feel more comfortable with the news, but the price are almost the same in each of them. So there's this elasticity and inelasticity. Yeah, more flexible, less flexible. And with the brands, you are less flexible because you have a strong connection with them, especially the people who has a high loyalty. Okay? So they have, of course, because they are big and they have greater trade cooperation, increased marketing communication effectiveness, and possible licensing opportunities all over the world. This is Richard Branson. I forgot the name yesterday. That person is a person who has an incredible ideas based on your products and how they approach to the market. For example, they have an airline, that Virgin Airlines. They are the ones who made to sell the tickets, the airplane tickets, in a very by internet, and they call that when it's very easy user. The web page. Exactly, usability. That's the word I'm looking for. They made a very good usability web page for buying the tickets. You can choose the seat. The seats have more space, is in leather, and you can choose the food by the touch screen. This is the first person who did that in the airline companies. And they receive a letter from the people who say, I expect to have a longer trip within your airplane because I have such good moments. There's not usual when you travel in the airline, as soon as you arrive, better. Let me show us more video about their company and about that issue.
First of all, let's not call it an idea. Let's call it, so you've got an idea. First of all, let's not call it an idea. Let's call it a game-changing business platform. But now you'll need to make it happen. So think big. Get on a flight. Yeah, not that one. This one. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. You're going to need to look the part. Much better. Next, you'll need to practice your pitch. You'll do. Time to get some shut-eye. Right. About this meeting. Okay, let's not call it a meeting. Let's call it...
Would you like me to repeat the question?
The mother of all meetings. Time to hit him with that pitch. That'll do. So leave them wanting to get your idea before he does. Or her. Or this little fella. Or even this lot. Because an idea is only ever an idea until you make it happen. Life doesn't come to you, so go to it.